American history is on the chopping block again. First, the PC police pulled down Confederate statues across the country. Now the California town of Arcata is preparing to take down a nearly 9-foot tall statue of President McKinley because of the federal government's treatment of Native Americans. And more towns across America are poised to pull down statues deemed similarly offensive. So where does it stop? Let's discuss this with Urban Game Changers CEO Shirley Husar and radio talk show host Ethan Behrman. I really appreciate you both being here today. Ethan, I want to ask you first, why is this so important? Why do you think they're trying to do this? And why now on President McKinley? He doesn't have a whole lot of statues. So why take this one down?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great idea to take it down because we're bringing attention to the issue that the Native Americans have been abused and a near genocide was committed against them. We established treaties with them in 1868, 1869, and then immediately reneged, stole land, stole the natural resources from under them. And William McKinley was the last of the presidents to openly steal land from the 5 civilized tribes. He was on the side of the timber company stealing from the Ojibwe in my original home state of Minnesota. Yes, let's bring attention to the fact that we have never addressed all of the wrongs we have committed against the Native Americans. It is a perfect time to do it.
Well, I think we have addressed it a long time, and there have been a lot of wrongdoings against. Oh, yes, they have. There's still a lot of wrongdoings against the Native Americans throughout their history. I would agree with that part of it. But tearing down this statue, surely, is this the right thing to do?
No, it's not the right thing to do. I mean, if you look at American history today, the pedagogic killings that took place back in 1843 to 1873 was very tragic. And yet we know that colonists came to California and they changed the history of California. Look, history, the existence of history is based on pain, war, and triumphs. We, under this administration, are making major changes. The Native Americans today sat down with the current president, the living president, President Donald J. Trump, and made changes in the summertime. What is tragic that I'm hearing on the other side is that they're saying that's relevant today. It is not. We have slaughtering that just took place, pedagogic killings that took place in Sacramento with Stephen Clark. Why aren't you talking about the black people that are being slaughtered today? A tribe of people that are still at war after 400 years. Why aren't you talking about the 20 guns, the 20 shots that shot and killed this man? You want to talk about the Native Americans. Native Americans, if you're not even Native American, and if you were, I have Native American in me as well. And I tell you, we focus on the side of where we are. We need history to be shown and to remember. You can't erase or eradicate what happened back then, but what you can do is look at this pain and move through it.
Ethan, where does this stop? I mean, I don't know that it's going to right all the wrongs by tearing down a statue. I think you're missing the point of understanding history, the good, the bad of it, in tearing down this statue. But what is that actually going to do for Native Americans, and where does this stop?
Well, there are two things. First off, the statue is being removed after an EIR and CEQA get addressed. It's not being destroyed or melted down, so it can still be used for teaching history, where nobody is trying to erase history. What we're trying to do is bring attention to the fact that, look, in my lifetime, I was getting trained to be a foster parent in Minnesota, and that's when I learned about the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978, because we were still stealing Indian children in 1978. 2016, we're still addressing that issue. So if this brings attention to the wrongs that are still happening to this day against Native Americans, I'm all for it. And by the way, to the other point there, I talk about Stephen Clark on my radio show too, and the wrongs that are being committed today to the African American community.
Shirley, is this going to do anything to help the Native American population by tearing down this statue?
No, it's not. The Native Americans in this country are thriving under this administration. Like I said previous, they've created treaties of oil deals with their land, with American people, and they have other things going on in their life. Stephen Clark and people like him, these PC people, want to pivot away from the real pain that is current and relevant. In 2018, we have the slaughtering of African American family and children on the street. This young man, Stephen Clark, was in his backyard, shot 20 times. He was slaughtered. That is the person those are the people you need to be focusing on and pivoting away from Native Americans who are not even complaining. Black people are complaining for some reason. We're being stepped on and left over.
Well, listen. Look, I had the honor.
You listen. You're not understanding that black people in California are at war. Are we not in war in Northern California right now? Tell me.
Listen,
are we not in war in this state right now? The sanctuary cities right now in Huntington Park are meeting and they're voting against it.
Thank you. Listen, the plight of the Native Americans is a serious one. You want to go to the most impoverished parts of our country, you go to some of these tribal areas and some of these reservations, and you'll see poverty unlike any other place in this country, and I do hope we do address it. But I don't think we're going to solve it by tearing down this statue. So thank you both for being here. How do you play baseball